Oh, what?
Just let them know when we look good, and then
Yeah.
we can start the-
We're gonna do a short video in a minute honoring Cliff Moses. He was the vice chairman here in Madison County under me for 4 years. And he passed a few weeks ago, and we're just gonna do a little video honoring him, and we wish his family well. And it's surely Cliff is gonna be missed. He was definitely a integral part of the board, and always brought a smile to everybody's face, and always had a quick wit about him. And it's just it's too bad. He was too young to have that happen to him. So go ahead, Mark. Anybody have anything you want to add?
Yes, John, I'd like to say, gonna miss his wit. I think the candy wrappers. And he was a voice of reason, I believe, all the time. And the other thing was he always told us, and Pete and I were just talking, that take your job seriously, but not yourself. He's certainly gonna be missed. Even with all the barbs he used to throw.
Anybody else?
Cliff called me on the way up through here one time. He said, have you been through Peterborough yet? I said, no. So I'm just coming by the high school. He said, well, there's a trooper there at that 30-mile-an-hour sign. And he said, he says, you want to be careful. He said, he pulled me over. He said, I was doing 40, but he realized I was somebody important. He said, you know, that's not going to work for you. And, you know, he always brought something back from when, you know, NISAC or NACO, something agriculture related. It might be a ball cap or a brochure or some information for me. And when he traveled New England, he would bring back maybe there's something to do with maple that wasn't traditional maple mustard or maple nuts or something. And he said, the people say this really sounds good. You ought to look into this. But I think he took greatest pleasure in bringing back maple syrup. You know, he said, this is a bottle of Vermont maple syrup. You might want to try it. And so you know what real good syrup tastes like too, you know, and he just loved that, you know, and I think we were the biggest customers of Christine's Candy Bowl. And, you know, he started it years ago. He came in and dropped the dark chocolate down for me. And I went back in and I'm standing there by the candy bowl and Christine says, Cliff's favorites are the caramels. I said, okay. So I get a caramel and he get it. You know, we'd have those sitting here when we came in. He was already here for finance. I was coming for GOC and like Dave said, you know, I think that's he was the better half of a good comedy team up here. And you know, he told me one time, if we can make GOC laugh a little bit, he said, we've done okay. He said, that's not always an easy committee. And, you know, I think that all of us here that had the opportunity to know Cliff, you know, we should celebrate that. Well, be grateful for that chance. And we learned from him. And, you know, we laughed with him and, and I love Cliff. He was great.
Thanks, Pete. Does anybody else have anything they want to add? Yes, Jim.
I met Cliff 40 years ago and my first daughter got into the principal's office. And then my other two kids ended up there quite frequently also. So I got to know Cliff really well. And when I first came on this board, pandemic started about 2 months later, and Cliff called together a Southern Madison County group of supervisors and really led us through some hard times. And I was sorely missed Cliff. He's a wonderful man and father and husband.
Thanks. Yeah, Bill.
I first met Cliff 9 years ago when I came on the board, and I immediately recognized he was the one person I wanted to model myself after in my demeanor and time here. I thought he was a great leader. He was always quick-witted, like Pete said, and I just will sorely miss his leadership here around the Horseshoe.
I'd just like to add that before I came to my first meeting, I went and met with Cliff, who was gracious enough to take his time to kind of give me an idea of what to expect and what was going to happen. And he was my mentor and he was my friend. And I am forever grateful for his help.
Okay, we're good. Okay. Thank you. Okay, next I want to introduce Joe Wicks, who will be replacing Cliff as the town of Sullivan or town of Eaton supervisor. Joe's familiar with the county. Who'd you work with, Joe? You worked with the public health department on the bridges. Yep. So Joe's familiar on the board and how we operate, and tough way to welcome you aboard, Joe, but welcome aboard. So. Okay, roll call, please.
Corbin. Zupan,
Here.
Fosberg,
Here.
Wicks, Jones, Walrod,
Here.
Schwartz,
Here.
Wynn,
Here.
Kennard,
Here.
is during on Zoom.
Just send a message to Mark that she's not feeling. Did you see that message, Mark?
Okay, so we'll count you as an absent.
Okay, so she can't vote then. So.
Yep.
Right.
All right, Reuter,
Here.
Cunningham.
Here.
Stokes, Stepanski,
Here.
Becker,
Here.
Kavanaugh. Here. Roberts,
Here.
Maglioka,
Here.
Du Bois. Here. $458 votes present.
Okay. Need a motion to approve our minutes from our previous meeting. Motion for that, please. Motion by Mr. Reuter, second. Second by Mr. Roberts. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Carried. Okay. We don't have anything else in between here, right? No communications, reports of committees. We have unfinished business.
Yep.
Okay, unfinished business is resolution number 22-640, amending rule number 6 of the Madison County Board of Supervisors, tabled by Supervisor Walrod and Supervisor Pinard. Okay. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I respectfully disagree with this resolution. It's my feeling that I don't think we should do away with any committees. I think they're all important in the county, and it helps the departments. People sitting around this horseshoe make important and decisions. I just don't think it's a good idea. I realize you have the authority to do it, but I just don't think it's with any committee. I don't care whether it's these two or any other committee.
Well, I don't have the authority to do it. That's why it's in front of you. And we did this quite some time ago, probably 13 years ago. We consolidated committees. We actually did away with one or two other ones. So giving some of the attendance issues that went on and some of the chatter that I heard about coming up here, everybody is pretty much on 2 committees. That's it. And McPlus definitely would be good in planning. Everybody has the same mindset on that. And the key members that are on planning were also on McPlus. And we rolled ANO under government operations, which most of what ANO did would fall under government operations anyway. So that was my reasoning. Anybody else have anything? Okay, all in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Anybody opposed?
No.
Okay, do a roll call, please.
Corbin, Zupan,
Yes.
Fosberg,
Yes.
Wicks, Jones,
No.
Walrod,
Yes.
Schwartz,
No.
Wynn,
Yes.
Pinard,
Yes.
Reuter,
Aye.
Cunningham,
No.
Stokes,
No.
Stupansky, Becker,
Yes.
Kavanaugh, Roberts,
Yes.
Maglioka,
No.
Du Bois.
Yes.
You guys are doing this to me the first resolution of the year.
Keep you sure.
No, they gave me an Excel spreadsheet instead. Okay, 1,148 ayes, 310 noes, and 42 absents.
Carried. Okay, do we want to go into executive session next? Right.
If you'd like to do that, yeah, it's for resolution time. We can do.
All right, I need a motion to go into executive session. Ryan Allward needs to talk to us about a couple of the contracts that we've got. So I need a motion. Motion by Mr. Fosberg, seconded by Mr. Walrod. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Carried. We won't be very long. Last time I said that, I think it was an hour.